Intro.
Good morning. How are you? Good. Good.
You guys bring your coins up today?
Oh, you are so smart, huh? Yeah.
So is this a scheduled holiday for you guys today? That was an inside joke.
Oh.
I happened to catch yesterday's meeting.
And we're 30 away?
30 seconds away.
Hang on now. Finley, come on.
The ring one up.
20.
Hey, Patricia.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
Smile, Commissioner
3,
Chris.
2, 1. Good to go.
Good morning, Commissioners, and welcome to the Wednesday, October 13th, 2021 Board of County Commission meeting. I'm Akeem Ashford, the Director of Communications. To start off this morning, as a recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic continues in Sedgwick County, we want to hear from our citizens. We want to hear about the federal funds that were awarded to the county from the American Rescue Plan, also known as ARPA, and how they may be of help to our citizens. Please complete the survey. We've got the survey pulled up here. All you have to do is go to sedgwickcounty.org/finance/ARPA, but you can just simply type in Google sedgwickcounty.org/ARPA survey. The ongoing ARPA feedback survey is to provide feedback on how the funds should be spent. There you can also keep up to date on county ARPA spending throughout the year. Early voting also begins October 18th through November 1st at the election office and October 28th through the 30th at the early vote centers. We've got a banner here for you to look at. You can also go to sedgwickcounty.org for more information. The Law Enforcement Memorial Service will be held on Friday, October 15th, beginning at 10 a.m. We invite the citizens to watch the ceremony on the Sedgwick County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. We will also share it on the Sedgwick County government page as well. Calling all ghosts and goblins, Commissioners, with just a few weeks away from Halloween, the county has put together some quick reference safety tips to help you and your family stay safe. We will share this information over all of our social media channels as well as on the Sedgwick County website. All right, Commissioners, taking a look at today's agenda. There's a proclamation declaring Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall recognition. There's a proclamation declaring Child Advocacy Center Heroes Day, and a proclamation declaring RIVALZ Game Day. You will vote to accept the resignation of several folks on the Citizens Advisory Boards. And with that, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, I will turn the meeting over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Akeem. Welcome to the Board of County Commissioners meeting for October the 13th. Mr. Clerk, I guess I'll just notice that our chairman is not here today, so I'm kind of fulfilling that role. So we have an empty seat, but we're going to get this business done. There's not a lot to do. So, Mr. Clerk.
Invocation to be observed by a moment of silence. Please remain standing for the flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Mr. Clerk, next up.
Roll call. Commissioner Lopez.
Present.
Commissioner Dennis.
Present.
Commissioner Howell.
Present.
Commissioner Cruz.
Present.
Chairman Meitzner.
Okay, next up.
Public agenda.
Commissioners, we didn't receive any public comments. We didn't have any via our emails. Did we have anybody sign up today? Okay. Do we have anyone in the audience that wants to speak during public comment? Okay. With that, I will, looks like we don't really have to, we don't have to do anything with that since there weren't any. Next up, Mr. Clerk.
Proclamations. Item A. Proclamation declaring Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall Recognition Week.
Commissioner Dennis.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. It is my honor to read the following proclamation. Whereas the Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall is a half-size replica of the Washington, D.C. Vietnam Veterans Memorial and has toured the country for more than 30 years to honor the brave men and women who served our nation. As the moving wall travels around the country, it will visit Valley Center October 21st to the 25th, 2021. And whereas the traveling memorial stands as a reminder of the sacrifices veterans made during the Vietnam War, and we salute our brave Vietnam veterans who in service to our nation and in the defense of liberty fought gallantly. And whereas the moving wall honors the men and women of Kansas and our nation who gave their lives during the Vietnam War from 1955 to 1975. There are 639 names of Kansas men on the memorial, and we embrace our responsibility to help our Vietnam veterans and their families heal from the heavy toll of war. We remember more than 58,000 whose names are memorialized on the black granite wall in our nation's capital and on the moving wall. And whereas all Vietnam veterans gave some and some gave all, we owe a debt of gratitude to all veterans having borne the heaviest cost of war. We also pay tribute to the brave patriots who suffered as prisoners of war, and we stand steadfast in our commitment not to rest until we account for all of the 1,253 heroes who have not yet returned to American soil. And whereas this moving wall and the wall in our nation's capital help ensure the sacrifices of the 9 million heroes who served during this difficult chapter of our country's history and returned home are remembered, and will help those who served proudly heal as remember both the fallen and those who served during this turbulent time in our history. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Chairman Peter F. Meitzner and the entire Board of Sedgwick County Commissioners do hereby proclaim October 21st to 25th, 2021 as Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall Recognition Week in Sedgwick County, and call on all of our citizens to recognize all the contributions of our nation's Vietnam veterans, and I call upon all Americans to offer each of our Vietnam veterans thank you on behalf of our nation. Madam Chairman, I would move that we approve this proclamation.
Second.
Commissioner Lopez? Commissioner Dennis?
We're taking a vote. Thank you.
Commissioner Lopez? Commissioner Dennis?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz?
Aye.
Chairman Meitzner.
And we have Councilman Ron Colbert from Valley Center here to receive the proclamation. Thank you, Ron.
Good morning. I'm Ron Colbert, City Councilman for Valley Center and the project chairman of the Moving Wall. It is indeed a pleasure to accept this proclamation on the Moving Wall that will be in Valley Center October 21st through the 25th in Lions Park at 316 East Clay Street. Commissioners, I would also like these individuals that are in the room here with me to come forward and introduce themselves and their functions with the Moving Wall. These are very special people. Without them, I would not be able to make this event happen. Chris, will you start, please?
We're very bright this morning. We're so glad to have you all here.
Good morning. My name is
Morning.
Chris Evans. I'm a council member also of Valley Center, and I'm one of Ron's co-chairman.
Welcome.
I'm Gary Rogers, volunteer and co-chairman.
Hi, Gary.
Terry Nankus, I'm chairman of the volunteer committee.
Hello.
Andy Quant, I'm just a staff member, part of the 6 benches that were built for the wall.
You're not just a staff member. That's pretty important.
I'm Jerry Hawkins. I'm in charge of social media and marketing.
Hi, Jerry.
I'm Larry Strelo, past commander of Post 73, one of the hosts starting positions on the wall 2 years ago. So we have been working on this a long time.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you. Patty, did you have something to say? All right.
You want to go first? You sure?
Only if you want me to.
Yes.
Okay, I knew it. Last word guy. Patty Nefco. I and Hutch and I actually are in charge of the veteran providers that will have free information booths there, and also been working on the senior citizens' homes to bring buses in with their residents. So it's been a wonderful task, and I will just say that I know Hutch will have wonderful words to say, but I want to say it's been a complete honor and privilege to work with you, sir, and your team, and we've just gotten to know so many wonderful people, and it's an effort that we want everybody to come out to this wall. Valley Center, October 21, 25. Please come out and see this wall. It means a lot to everyone. Hutch?
You bet. This has been a great honor, and it's given Patty and I an opportunity to work with for, I don't know, a year. This has been kind of a year-long process, and then here in the last month and a half, we've narrowed it down to where we've been meeting every Monday night. So it's crunch time. But with that said, all the people that you see here in yellow shirts and many more, just the relationships are invaluable. Most of them happen to be up in my age group, and I felt that very refreshing. And they're all just the most outstanding people I could ever imagine. Valley Center is beyond lucky, and so Valley Center has always had a special place in my heart, but it really has a special place in my heart, and somehow, some way, I'm going to find a way to be a part of what Valley Center does. So, and then I want to thank the commissioners for having us here today. So, and then I'll just add to what Patty said. Patty and I were commissioned with the task of organizing all the vendors, and that was kind of quite a task, and it still is. Patty and I worked on it last night, but you can be rest assured that all the vendors that will be there have all been vetted through Patty and I. They're all veteran-centric, and so it's of the highest quality and highest standard, and just only appropriate for this event. So, thank you.
Thank you, Hutch. Thank you, Patty. Ron, how many hours do you think that you guys have in this total?
Let me get through these two and I'll tell you.
Okay, here's Brent Clark.
I was like, I don't know if the calculator goes that high. Good morning, Brent Clark, the proud city administrator in Valley Center, and also am I the treasurer? I believe the treasurer for the Moving Wall project. I want to thank everybody in this room, as well as all the surrounding communities as well in Sedgwick County. It truly takes an entire region to put on this event. We hope you take an opportunity to come and view the wall, get all the emotions and experience of just seeing it in person, and we hope that you spend some time and spend some money in Valley Center. So thank you for the opportunity this morning to come before you.
Thank you, Brent. And our Register of Deeds, Tanya Buckingham.
Hi, Tanya Buckingham, Register of Deeds, and I'd like to thank Patty and Hutch and Ron. They invited us to come to the event to issue the military discount cards and also to record the DD-214s. So we're excited to be there and be part of this event.
Awesome. Okay, Ron, how many days or how many hours do you think your team has in this?
2 years, 3 months, 18 days, and maybe 10 hours.
Wow. That's
or more.
It's a huge effort.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I want to come down and get a photo as well. So go ahead and we'll just take a little quick.
Thank you. I just wanted to say I appreciate Ron so much. He came to my office, I think maybe a couple of years ago at this point, introduced the idea to me with a few of the colleagues here in this room. And I didn't really understand exactly what was being proposed. But as I got to know more about the project and got to know Ron a little bit better, I have to tell you, this is it's kind of a bittersweet event. The cost of war is hard to fathom. I lost a friend last week who's a Vietnam veteran. And he's about a little bit older than me, not too much older than I am. On that wall, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of names who gave their lives for their country. And it's hard to take that in until you see it. Now, unfortunately, I have never actually seen the memorial in Washington, D.C. So this is an opportunity for me, and I'm sure there's the majority of people in this country have never seen this wall. So this is a great opportunity to bring the wall to them. And it's an extremely big project. I think that Ron is one of the most, if I was to put an adjective on Ron and say he's the can-do person, he can do things that no one else can do. He can bring it together. He's one of the most organized people I've ever met in my life. And this is a very, very large project, and he's been on top of it from the very beginning. This would not happen without Ron. So this is a huge opportunity for this community, and it's a big deal. In fact, I understand this is probably the last time it will ever come to our state. So this is a big deal. We need to make sure that people have a chance to see it. We're going to put this on social media. I hope everybody listening to me right now, you like and share and tag friends about this, and let's bring this entire community out to see this wall, because it's a big deal. And we really need to honor our veterans. I got to serve in the Air Force for 5 years, and Colonel Dennis here, a much longer career in the military. We didn't have to give our lives. We did sign up to do that, and that was a scary thing. I was a newlywed, and I had to go to war, the first Gulf War. I didn't know my future. These are people who left their families and never came back. And there are so many more that are still suffering PTSD, and their families that suffer with them because of the cost that they paid for our freedom and for our country. So this is a big deal. I appreciate the fact that we have the chance to do this. Out of all the proclamations I've ever been involved in, this may be one of the most important. So thank you, Ron, for bringing this to us and for making this happen. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you.
Well, first I want to thank Ron and all the volunteers that made this happen. We sincerely appreciate the time and effort you spent doing this. I also want to thank Sabrina, because I don't know how many of you noticed, but the proclamation was a little longer than most of the proclamations because there was so much to say about this. And so she had to make a lot of changes in the way that our proclamation fits on the page in order to be able to get all those words in. And it still doesn't do justice to the sacrifices of over 58,000 men and women, the names that are on that wall, and all of those that served in Vietnam. I enlisted in the Air Force in 1968, and so you recognize that was the height of the Vietnam War. If you look at that wall, 68 and 69 have more names than any other years. My brother enlisted at the same time in the United States Army. He did go to Vietnam and was injured in Vietnam. He's still alive today, thank God. But he has Agent Orange very badly, and it's affected his health. My cousin was the first Army nurse into Vietnam, female Army nurse. They weren't sending females over initially, and finally we had enough casualties. They had to be able to have enough nurses, so she did serve over there. If you get to go to Washington, D.C., you're going to see that besides the wall, there are two statues there, one of the fighting men and one of the nurses. And my cousin was instrumental in helping get that second statue put in. But the sacrifices were immense. I guarantee you that it changed my life. I probably would never have even entered the military if it hadn't have been for the Vietnam War. And as a result of that, I found a calling and stayed for 29 years. So I know that it affected me. even though that I did not take a tour in Vietnam. My brother did, and they weren't sending brothers over at the same time at that point. So once I transitioned into nuclear weapons, they didn't really need me over there. But overall, my life completely changed as a result. I'm where I'm at today because of 29 years that I served. And it was an honor to serve with all of the men and women. I had 3 different joint jobs, so I have had an opportunity to serve with the Army, Navy, Marines, and the sacrifices that every man and woman that puts on the uniform make every single day are immense. And 58,000 plus names are on that wall, and they gave more than anyone. So I appreciate the volunteers. I appreciate Ron for bringing this wall to our community so that we can share and let some of the Vietnam veterans that did serve over there come to that wall, and hopefully they can heal. I have friends that I graduated from school with, that's names are on there. They're chronological. And as I served in the Air Force in Strategic Air Command, where there's a hat here in the room with Strategic Air Command, you're going to see that where they shot down B-52s, the entire crew are commemorated together. So they're still together today. So it is important to heal, and this is an opportunity to heal. So thank you very much. I don't know if Ron has anything else to say, but we've got all the commissioners down here on the floor, which is unique. And we'd all like to have a picture with all of the volunteers and with all the commissioners.
I still have some remarks to make. I appreciate it. Thank you for all their kind remarks. And there's a few things I'd like to say to answer some questions that everybody probably are wondering about. I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to explain how this happened and the individuals behind me became involved in the project. In 2018, a group of veterans were talking what a project we would like to see and do. It was suggested that we investigate and bring the moving wall back to Valley Center. After a few months of phone calls and research, we started to plan to bring the moving wall. In January of 2019, we started the planning and scheduling the wall after receiving permission from the city, and they became the sponsors along with the American Legion Post 73 in Valley Center. The group, the Moving Wall in Michigan, set a date and requested a deposit of $2,500 to start the project. But as the COVID happened, we had to delay until 2020, delay our 2020 date and have it rescheduled for 2021. In January of this year, we found we could have the same dates, but one date earlier. We set up the committees, started raising funds, started advertising the wall coming to Valley Center. As we continue with the planning and raising funds for our group, it grew to 32 plus staff members and 150 volunteers to work the 4 days the wall was here. We also have 3 ceremonies, a parade of about 250 bikers, escorting the wall from Greenwich Road and Hampton Suites, where they are moving the wall to Valley Center. They will get together at the Coliseum, most of the bikers, where they will join the group coming from Wichita and continue on 85th Street to Meridian to Allen Street, at which time the Drum Corps will escort the moving wall to its final place on Clay Street. All this will start at 8 o'clock in Wichita and arrive in Valley Center about 8:45. We also request all Vietnam veterans to bring their DD Form 214 to receive a special coin, which I have in my pocket, but I'm not sure if anybody will be able to see it. It's a very nice gold coin. But if the Vietnam veteran shows this, they will get this coin. We have another coin for other members also on there. Commissioners, I would like to take an hour or two to give you all the details about the wall, the planning of the wall and so forth. But I want to end by saying this, quote, "We must always remember our brethren that didn't make it home. and we must never forget to honor them in any way we can, unquote. With that, again, thank you for the proclamation, and hope everybody can come to the wall. Thank you.
You guys can sit in front.
Yeah, I don't want to sit. Would you mind? Would you mind? Yeah. Yeah. That's better. There we go. We're squeezed in tight over here. You'll be able to get us all? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you all. I love your names on your shirt.
Just so we know who we are.
Thank you. Thank you, Hutch.
Good, thank you so much. Air Force, all that.
Hey, Ron.
Good deal, Ron. Good deal.
Let the room clear out, and then we will let commissioners get back up here. Waiting on one commissioner. Thank you for your patience. Mr. Clerk, I think we can go ahead and call the next agenda item, please.
Item B, proclamation declaring Child Advocacy Center Heroes Day.
Thank you. Whereas over 2,000 cases of child sexual and physical abuse, missing and abducted children, internet exploitation, and crimes against children are investigated annually in Sedgwick County. And whereas the safety and security of children is paramount to the health and well-being of families and the community. And whereas the Child Advocacy Center of Sedgwick County, a nonprofit organization, has been a leader in service to the community since 2008, with a mission to promote the safety, health, and emotional well-being of abused children and the caregivers by bringing together public, private, and community partners. And whereas the Child Advocacy Center provides an environment for children to feel protected, nurtured, and fortified in the ability to heal from trauma with support of well-being, well-trained professionals in the areas of child family advocacy, law enforcement investigation and prosecution, child protective services, and medical and mental health care. And whereas there are those individuals who have gone above and beyond to make a positive difference in the life of a child and are being honored as heroes at the 10th Annual Heroes Gala, celebrating heroes and restoring hope. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Lacey Cruz, on behalf of Chairman Peter F. Meitzner and the Board of Sedgwick County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim October 29th, 2021 as Child Advocacy Center Heroes Day in Sedgwick County and encourage all citizens to work together in the protection of our children to ensure that they may grow and thrive in a safe, secure, and healthy environment. With that, Commissioners, I will make a motion that we accept this proclamation.
Second.
Thank you. With that, call the vote, please.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Commissioner Dennis?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cruz?
Aye. And here to accept this proclamation is Jessica Eck with the Child Advocacy Center of Sedgwick County. Welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm Jessica Eck, and this is Erica Purcell. She's our clinical manager. And I don't know how you follow the
Tough act to follow.
They were awesome. That was really heartwarming. So the Heroes Gala, like you said, is Friday, October 29th. It's our 10th anniversary, and we're just excited to be celebrating all of those detectives and social workers that work hard day in and day out, 24 hours a day, fighting for the children within our community.
And I think that just to make note of that, the real heroes are the kids, and the ability to provide the services for, now I'm going to get emotional, those children in this community should not ever be forgotten. And thank you guys so much for this proclamation and for allowing us to be here today and supporting our mission at the Child Advocacy Center.
Thank you for being here. The work that you do is vital to the success of healthy children in our community. So I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Okay. Next up.
Item C, proclamation declaring RIVALZ Game Day.
Thank you. I've asked Commissioner Howell, please, to read this.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The proclamation reads, whereas 55,000 Kansans have Alzheimer's disease and more than 6 million people in the United States have Alzheimer's disease. Whereas the 85,000 caregivers in Kansas are providing more than 95 million hours of unpaid care and a total value of $1.3 billion. Whereas by 2025, the number of Kansans diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease will increase to 62,000. Whereas the direct and indirect costs of Alzheimer's and other dementias amount to more than $355 billion annually. And whereas RIVALZ is a volunteer-driven event that engages professional women in a friendly but fierce flag football game around the country, our blondes versus brunettes will take to the field as they play and raise awareness and funds for the fight to end Alzheimer's. All funds raised through RIVALZ continues to benefit the care, support, and research efforts of Alzheimer's Association. Now therefore be it resolved that Chairman Peter F. Meitzner and all of the Board of County Commissioners do hereby proclaim or recognize October 23rd, 2021 as a RIVALZ Game Day. Madam Chair, I'd be pleased to make a motion to adopt this proclamation.
Second. There's been a motion and a second. Please call the vote.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Commissioner Dennis?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cruz?
Aye. Thank you.
I,
Go ahead.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I just wanted to make a few comments real quickly. I just did the calculations. It's about almost 2% of our state's residents are struggling with this debilitating disease. And I am so sad for those families that are struggling with this. It's a very, very important cause. Thank you for being a leader to address this. I appreciate you very much. My mother died about 2 years ago, and she struggled with these very same issues. And I have friends, I'm sure we all have friends and family who struggle with this. This is a very, very important topic. Thank you for being a leader. I think it's great to bring awareness to this, and I do wish that there was a solution. So I think it's very important that you are doing your best to raise funds, and hopefully we would see a solution to this at some point in our future. But thank you for your leadership. Appreciate that. I think it's a great proclamation. Please introduce yourself and make your comments.
Thank you. I'm Connie Mansell with Central and Western Kansas Chapter Alzheimer's Association. I'm the Constituents Events Manager, and I just want to say thank you, Commissioners, for this proclamation recognizing the Alzheimer's Association's annual RIVALZ football game. This event inspires fundraising, raises awareness, and action in the fight to end Alzheimer's. We are definitely, and we appreciate Sedgwick County standing behind us. This is, as the Commissioner mentioned, this is a disease that affects us all. It may not affect you today, but it may in the future. It's something that we all can jump in and fight. And so we appreciate you. We would love to see you to come out to the game on Saturday, October 23rd. I will tell you that we have 41 ladies that are fierce and ready to get on that football game. They've also been raising funds. As of today, they've raised $30,000 of our $50,000 goal. So there's still time to support us and help us to end Alzheimer's. And I'm going to let Jamie speak today.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. I'm Jamie Gideon. I'm the Kansas Director of Public Policy. Again, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to have this proclamation today. It really goes a long way in the state of Kansas and Sedgwick County in particular to raise awareness of this disease. The more awareness that we raise here in Sedgwick County, the more progress we're going to make in fighting to end Alzheimer's. So I appreciate you again today, and thank you.
I have a couple questions for you real quickly.
Sure.
If someone wants to donate to this, is there a website they can donate? And can you please tell us where this game will be played and what time?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. You can go to RIVALZ Wichita, Google that. It takes you directly to the website, and you can make a donation there. The game kickoff is at 4 p.m. Friends University. Come at 3 when the gates open. We're going to have some fun. We have some exciting guests, and there'll be some other opportunities to get some prizes and just interact with our other staff and the players themselves.
Now the listeners that should know that RIVALZ is spelled differently. Can you please tell us how you spell that? And
Correct.
Yeah.
It's R-I-V as in Victor, A as in Apple, L as in like, Z as in zebra. And it's for RIVALZ, but it's also incorporating the word Alzheimer's, A-L-Z.
I think that's fantastic. And I have one question. My wife is a redhead, so you said this is a fierce flag football game. Isn't
Yes.
there a redhead team? Because you have blondes and brunettes.
Right. Redheads are free agents. They get to choose blondes or brunettes.
I would say
Yes.
that they're also fierce, and so
Yes.
we want to make sure we don't.
Yes, these ladies are amazing. When you think flag football, you think something nice and dainty and sweet? No.
So it should be fun to watch.
Absolutely,
All right.
absolutely. And most of all, they are raising awareness and raising funds to fight Alzheimer's. All of these individuals have been impacted, or maybe they even work in the senior industry. So this fight is very personal to them.
And is this a reoccurring event?
Yes, sir, it is.
And who won last year?
Blondes won last year.
Okay, so
I
it's a
believe.
brunette's chance to get him back.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Well, thank you again for all you do. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you. Have a great Wednesday.
Thank you, Connie and Jamie, for being here. I worked in the senior living world for the better part of my career, and it was really heartbreaking to see the way that I just remember the residents that I helped move into apartments. And so I really appreciate the work that you do. It was interesting when I worked for Legend Senior Living, the way that Alzheimer's units were designed. They were designed on a square so that when someone is lost, they could always find the way back to their apartment. The memory boxes that were outside of their doors to help remember, the things, those different kinds of touches to help people during this disease. So I appreciate the work that you do. So back to the game. I had a couple of friends who I know are really fierce competitors who have tried to get me involved in this, which is how I knew that redheads get to choose which team they want. So when is the sign up, say, for next year if somebody wanted to be involved? Like, how early do you start? If Sarah and I wanted to go head to head. But I don't know what team I would be in.
Yeah, well, and we can talk about that as well. We will start probably in February to start recruiting. These ladies start practicing approximately 8 to 10 weeks before game date. So they've been practicing all summer. Absolutely. So definitely reach out to me at any time, and I can definitely keep you connected and let you know when we start our push for recruiting for new players.
Awesome. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you.
With that, Mr. Clerk?
Appointments. Item D, accept the resignation of Sherry Livingston from the Sedgwick County 3rd District Citizens Advisory Board.
Patricia?
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. Patricia Parker, Deputy County Counselor. Commissioners, you have in front of you a resignation of Sherry Livingston from the Sedgwick County 3rd District Citizens Advisory Board. I recommend that you accept the resignation.
Commissioner Dennis?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. Sherry Livingston is a longtime member of Citizens Advisory Board, but because of some significant personal impact in her life, she can no longer serve. I want to thank her very much for her service on the Citizens Advisory Board. She's a valued member. I hate to see her depart. It does mean that I do have an opening now, so if anyone is interested in serving on the Citizens Advisory Board, why, you can go onto the website and apply, or you can contact Lisa or Carol in our commission office and have an application. But with that, I regretfully move that we accept the resignation. Thank you.
I'll second that. There's been a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Commissioner Dennis?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cruz?
Aye. Next item, please.
Item E, resolution appointing Christopher Wyant to the Sedgwick County 5th District Citizens Advisory Board.
Patricia?
Good morning again. You have in front of you a resolution appointing Christopher Wyant to the Sedgwick County 5th District Citizens Advisory Board. And I recommend that you adopt the resolution.
Commissioner Howell?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Again, Christopher Wyant is a gentleman that represents, if you will, the southern part of my district. I'm trying to keep the diversity as diverse as I can, but he actually works at Wichita Area Technical College. And so he's really, I think, a great choice. He's really engaged. He's already attended several meetings, even though he's not been officially appointed. He's been attending and participating. So great selection, and I would be very pleased, Madam Chair, to make a motion to adopt this resolution appointing Christopher Wyant.
I will second that. There's been a motion and a second. Please call a roll.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Commissioner Dennis?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cruz?
Aye. Next up, please.
Consent agenda.
Mr. Manager.
Morning, Madam Chair, Commissioners, Tom Stills, County Manager's Office. Recommend approval of consent items F through O this morning. I want to mention, just for the public, that the top three of these consent items, F and G, are both funding agreements with KDOT. F deals with local road safety plan study, which is interesting. And G is an agreement to construct road improvements for the half mile between 95th South, between 119th and 135th. Item H is also an agreement with a private company to complete a bridge rehabilitation study of the bridge at 63rd and the Ark River. So ask for approval of these consent items F through O.
Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I will second that. There's been a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Commissioner Dennis?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Vice Chair Cruz?
Aye. Next up, please.
Committee reports.
Commissioners, do you have any committee reports to discuss? Okay, with that, next up.
Other.
Commissioners, Commissioner Dennis.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. A couple things. One, we just heard about the moving wall. Make sure that you put that on your calendar for October 21st to the 25th. We also have Veterans Day Parade coming up on November the 6th. It starts right out in front of this courthouse at 11 o'clock. Make sure that you get your application in if you want to be in the parade itself, but we want to welcome all veterans downtown. If you're in the parade, we're going to have a number of floats and so forth. Commissioner Howell is going to be judging the floats as they go by and the different entries, so please participate in that. The other thing is that our register of deeds will be at both of those events. with the DD-214s. So any veteran that has not filed their DD-214, please come to either one of those events. They will accept your DD-214. They'll give you back 5 certified copies of that form. They'll file it so that any of your next of kin at any point, or if you have a catastrophic fire or anything that you lose your DD-214, it is available to you because it is securely stored by a register of deeds, and they will give you an ID card that you can carry that shows that you are a veteran, so that any place that offers discounts or any kind of special consideration for veterans can get that. So I appreciate that. The final thing that I have is if you haven't been over to the zoo for Wild Lights, you're missing something. I took my whole family last Friday night, and it is magnificent. Make sure that you allow yourself a little over an hour, and that's moving pretty fast through it because there are a ton of lights, and it is amazing. So it only runs, I think, through December 5th. So make sure that you get over to the zoo, get your tickets, and show up around 7 o'clock, and you'll be out of there by about 9 or so. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. I wonder how many DD-214s they're up to now. I've been meaning to ask Tanya about that.
I think they're over 1,000, but we'll verify that.
That's a lot.
Commissioner Howell and I have the very low numbers.
Commissioner Howell.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I wish I had the details in front of me. I just thought of this, but today feels like it's Veterans Day. We have all these veterans discussions, and I love veterans, and I think it's great that we take a little time to recognize veterans, and we've had lots of things to talk about today. There's one more. I've not highlighted it until today. This will be my first time of highlighting this year. And we'll have a proclamation here in, I think, a week or two for, I believe we will, for a Veterans Coming Home event, which is a PBS Kansas production. It's a community event. It's on the same day as our Veterans Day Parade on November the 6th. But that evening, Saturday evening at, I believe it's the Marriott Hotel, I think that's right. They are doing this event. And so for this community wants to celebrate veterans by participating in this. It is a fundraiser, so the tickets are a little bit, they do cost a little bit, but it's an extremely important cause. And we still have veterans that are missing. We have veterans that are struggling with PTSD and other mental health issues because of their service to our country. And this is a way to raise money, and the PBS does this on behalf of veterans in this community. So if you want to know more about that, just Google Veterans Coming Home, PBS Kansas, Wichita, Kansas. I'm sure you'll find the event there. They're still selling tickets, so if you want to do that, that would be a great opportunity for this community to support veterans. So I just want to just make a plug for them as well. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Sure, thank you. I will mention Rudy Love's Senior, his celebration of life is this coming Friday at 10 a.m. at Central Christian Church, 2900 North Rock Road, if you're interested in attending that. There will also be a memorial concert at 5 p.m. at Wave that should be a pretty great celebration of life with some incredible music with this community and probably people from around the globe. I don't even know how many people are going to show for this, but I'm excited to celebrate the life of Rudy Love. That is all I have about that. And then we are having, the Mental Health and Substance Abuse Coalition is having a policy subcommittee meeting today at noon. I'm going to try to make sure to mention these, as I have visited with a lot of social service providers. People are mentioning how they'd like to be included, and so I'm hopeful to be able to spread the word as much as possible to get as much engagement. We are working on things such as tuition reimbursement. I would love to know where we're at with the 4% increase. Do you know where we're at with that? In regards to...
Are you talking about on the state platform?
Right.
That we'll be crafting the legislative platform within the next couple of weeks, and we can have discussion with that, and we're doing some analysis of exactly dollars, what that would be for local government here.
Okay. So just to reiterate, we have hundreds of service codes that we're looking to have an increase. And so if we can break that down in a way that's easily digestible with policymakers, we might receive more traction. So I'm excited to discuss that. Okay, if there's nothing else before the board, I believe we're at, I said 45 minutes, we're at 52 minutes today. Okay, with that, we'll stand adjourned. Have a good day.
City posts what days they're going to have, but we don't.
It's going to